And now, allegedly, where we slow the story down. This is about insight versus impact, learning from what we observe. Instead of paying the price ourselves, their experiences become our education. So growth doesn't have to come with damage.
Allegedly is where truth meets opinion and headlines meet hard questions. So welcome to Allegedly with me, Coach Raquel. And of course, there's this little thing I like to say that when it comes to talking about other people's stories, I'm extremely mindful because pain has purpose, and every individual, as far as I'm concerned, until God tells me otherwise, is divine. And I've not yet met a person, and I've met all sorts of persons. And I've not yet met a person where my spirit, my God, has said to me, this one is evil, or maybe it's just that I don't perceive evil. I don't know what it is, but I have not had that experience yet. What I've experienced is that people are divine and God is intentional. And for every life, God has his purpose and he's executing that purpose in their life. And because of that, when I speak on people's stories, I am very mindful that I'm entering potentially dangerous territories. So I ought to tread carefully. With that said, to the extent that I speak about the stories that are in the media, it's because I want to be a positive voice where we transform gossip into growth. I use their stories to have conversations, discussions, ask questions, so that I can be inspired to do my self-work, to extract wisdom from whatever they're going through. And I just want to say, God bless these people who are positioned as or examples or as the laughing stock, so that I can present myself better, so I don't become the laughing stock, so to speak. So I'm just saying, I honor these people. I thank every single one of them who I'm going to be speaking about, because their story is going to allow me to grow, to expand, to transform, to move with wisdom, to be thoughtful, to work on myself so I can have breakthroughs. So it's actually a gift, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I did not have to walk in their shoes, because while pain has purpose, pain ain't fun. It isn't fun either. It's not fun. It's a real life thing. And so today, and before I go there, let me just go to the copyright disclaimer. Everything I use here is with respect to this copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. We're not seeking to infringe on anyone's rights. This episode of Allegedly, I'm really thinking on projected entitlement and public expectations. It's something that it's really bothering me. It's bugging me, I don't know where culture is not it's not accidental. And I'm trying to figure out where in our culture, or when we got to a place where we feel so entitled to people's brain power, peace of mind, attention, intention. You know what I mean? It's like there's this entitlement that I hear, and I'm like, I don't quite understand it, and I don't understand where it came from, and I think it should go back to wherever it came from, because it's not right and it's not fair. The first one I'm going to talk about is Tyra Banks. So let me go for the story. Netflix drops America's Next Top Model documentary. Okay, critics say it's not flattering to Tyra Banks. And the story was by, just to credit, Connor Murray, Forbes staff. Murray is a Forbes news reporter covering entertainment trends. Man, the view. Okay, so reality check inside America's Next Top Model, a three-part docuseries on the hit reality show of the 2000s, dropped on Netflix on Monday, with revelations about some of the series' most infamous moments. As critics say, the series paints host Tyra Banks in an unflattering light. All right, so it says here, key facts. Banks sat for an interview for Reality Check, but she's not a producer on the documentary, which also includes interviews with former contestants, producers, and judges from America's Next Top Model. The docuseries covers some of the show's controversial moments, including some of Banks' clashes with contestants and fellow judges, as well as the alleged promotion of disordered eating and culture of body shaming on the show. It says, what does Reality Check say about Banks? The documentary appears to place some of the blame for the show's body shaming and eating disorder culture on Banks, who created the show in 2003 and executive produced and hosted it for much of its 24-season run. Wow, that was a good run. The docuseries plays clips that depict Banks calling a black model's skin ashy, telling another contestant who was subjected to fat shaming comments multiple times to get a burger and take the bread off, and urging model Danny Evans to close a gap in her teeth, according to a review by The Cut. Evans, who was interviewed in the docuseries, accused Banks of attempting to make good television at my expense, saying, "It's my life and it was toyed with consciously." Hold on, I have to stop right here. Now, okay. Okay. Here are my thoughts. This could also have been a strategic move by Tyra to do this, which would have been smart. If you really want to bring it back, you kind of want to address the issues. You want to test, you want to put it out there and see, okay, test the waters. It's like when you do a project, right? And you get to a place where you have to do the assessment to see what happened, especially if you want to go further or move, and I think I would do this. I would make this move. I would do this documentary, have this documentary done if I was Tyra, to throw everything at the wall before I bring it back, so that whatever needs to come out now and not overshadow what I have coming up, right? So I would commission such a thing. So I'm going to bear in mind that this could very well have been exactly what Tyra set out to achieve, right? Now, on the other hand, it's interesting how they're reporting it, almost like they're hanging it around her neck. Yes, I understand she executive produced it, but it was a product and a program that she created that I think can be vetted on its own merit. It doesn't have to be personal. It doesn't have to hang around her personal neck. I mean, when we vet companies, do we always hang it around the owner's neck? Don't we talk about, oh, the burger tastes this way? We can keep it business, can't we? Can't we just look at the product and assess the product and evaluate the product, and it doesn't have to get to the person? Because I feel that if you're going to evaluate the people, the human resource involved. It shouldn't just be Tyra. It should be everybody. Everyone was at work. Her role as executive producer is a title, is a job title. That's a work title. So she was one of the employees too. It's just that she might have been the employee that introduced the idea. Do we want to punish people for introducing ideas that we then benefit from? Why can't we just assess the project and report it like that way? You know? That's my thoughts. And then ashy. I'm a black person. I get ashy if I don't moisturize my skin. What is wrong with that term? Isn't it true? Don't we get ashy? Or when the skin looks white, but that's what we call it, ashy. So what's the problem? Was she really ashy? Because if she was truly ashy, then what? What was the problem? I don't understand. How is that a strike against her? Why would you? And then this part, right? This is what stopped me. This person, God bless her and thank her for her story. I'm not mad at her. Accused Banks of attempting to make good television at my expense, saying it's my life and it was toyed with consciously. How did you become a part of this? Didn't you at some point choose to be a part of this? Did you not know what you were getting a part of? If someone says, I'm going to make your next top model, you thought, and this goes right back to what I was talking about when I said people who have these highfalutin dreams, right? They want to have limousine experience whilst operating at lower end Toyota car mindset. So you thought they were going to pluck you from where you were and position you on mountain top model without recognizing and calling out your ashy feet so you can cream it, without your life being impacted consciously. What were you expecting? You know, sometimes I like to watch talent shows, not modeling, singing. I like to watch because I love music. And sometimes when I hear people come on like Britain's Got Talent and whatever, do whatever you want with me. I just want this opportunity. If you listen to them saying they want to come on it, oh my God, I will do anything. And I'm like, did you just say you would do anything? You would do anything. You would do anything. You just said it. And then when anything comes, you start hearing, my life was toyed with consciously. You toyed with your life when you made the decision to enter a competition that was going to rip you apart in order to position you somewhere. You chose that. You can. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to evaluate the team and the human impact or the people who were involved, I think it would be so productive and so helpful if it's addressed in a more objective and comprehensive way, because they were all staff and they were all people at work, including Tyra. And the reason I'm using this image of Tyra is not because I'm trying to shame her or I'm trying to say, oh my God, how she looks like that. Because to me, she looks like a woman who's living and who is actively living, engaged in her life. So, but I wanted to use this one because, you see, I want to humanize her, because her face is not made up, because she's not currently in the role, that black top. When she's in that black top, I don't see her in the role of, she's not dressed for the role of modeling today. She's in a different role in her business, or just out walking because she's living her life. But I wanted to humanize her. See, because I don't know why in this world, and I think one of the reasons we're having problems in this world is because those people who claim they're poor, or people who in their minds living in lack, somehow tags who they in their minds claim are wealthy, or people who they think have abundance, or people who they think have much or more. It's like they tag them with the responsibility for themselves. Like, you're rich, so you have the responsibility over me, and it was your job to take care of me, and it was your job to make sure I was okay, and it was your job to. Excuse me. We're all here working. I'm here to do my job. I'm not here to do your job. I run a network. I'm building a network. I'm growing a network. And it's the same thing I tell the members of my network. I'm not your secretary. And I'm offended when you treat me like one, because it's disrespectful. It is disrespectful. Even if I know more than you, that's my business. And if you want to know what I know, you pay me for it. There's some walks you have to do alone, no matter what opportunity you get, your role is still relevant. No matter how many people you hire, your role is still relevant. You have to do your part. You are responsible for your choices. You are responsible for your growth. You are responsible for the leadership of self. It doesn't matter how much opportunities you get. And there are people, I'm telling you, I watch the talent shows. It's like they show up and here, have me, transform me. It's like they think somebody's going to wave a magic wand. And as the Disney movies used to show, Simon is going to wave a magic wand, and they're no longer going to be who they are today. They're going to be a star. You see, I always say this. I learned something. Be careful what decisions you make when you're hungry, and then who you blame for those decisions when you're full. Be careful of the choices you make when you're hungry, and be mindful of, or conscious or cautious on who you blame for those choices when you are full, filled, no longer hungry. Because the buck starts and stops with you. They presented an opportunity. You took up that opportunity. You uptake it, or uptook it, or whatever you want to call it. You subscribed. You applied. They didn't come into your house and plucked you out. And even if they did that, you still have a choice to say, I'm not coming. Or at least have it on record that they kidnapped you. At the very least, you have to have me on record doing something I didn't want to do. Because if I don't want to do it, kicking and screaming, you're going to remember that I kicked and screamed. Okay? So you, my dear, with much respect and thanks and gratitude for your story, you toyed with your life. And to the extent that anyone actually toyed with your life, it's because you gave them license to. And I'm not saying that because you signed up for a job, you're supposed to be treated a certain way. That's what human resource is for. Are you trying to tell me that their business, their companies did not have human resource? There was nowhere for you to turn to? Because if you had nowhere to turn to, there's a police station somewhere. And there's this thing called quit. Quit. Leave. Exit. Stop it. Take accountability for your choices. And then as it continues, you're going to be in a modeling competition and they don't tell you about what you're eating. Isn't that what all modeling is all about? How you look? I would never enter a modeling competition because I don't want nobody telling me how to eat. And I certainly don't want anybody to tell me how to work, how to do this. And I don't want anybody talking about my body. So I wouldn't even go there. And if you're ashy, you're ashy. So what? I think my feet are ashy right now. Of course they made good TV at your expense. That's why you were paid. And if you weren't paid in money, you were paid in opportunity. That's why you were chosen. What, you thought you were coming on a character to what? Yes, you're going to lend your likeness, your skills, your talent for this business to sell this product called a television show to sell. And the onus is on you to make sure that they're not the only ones getting a benefit from it, but that you do your part so you never lose your benefit. It was for you to use it. I bet you on your resume right now you have America's Next Top Model. What do you think that is? No there. You got what happened at your expense was your work and business history. That was the expense. That's what was at your expense. They didn't build a show at your expense. Or let me make sure I'm not saying that they didn't create good TV at your expense. No. You got to work with other people so you could build a resume, a portfolio, a business opportunity, business experience, a business history at your expense. That's what you did. And if you did not like the stakes or the conditions, you had the right to choose another way to get your business history, another way to get yourself platformed, another way to have gotten the honor to come sit here and have this interview to express yourself. They didn't call me. They didn't call me and interviewed me because I never had that opportunity. I never had the grand opportunity you had. Nobody owes us bed of roses. Nobody. It's us that have to vet our own circumstances and decide for ourselves. Is this an environment I want to subject myself to? Anybody can do anything to you. You're the one who has to make sure you have boundaries and you stand on them. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Since when has anything in life been easy? At the very least, I would have liked to hear her say it different. And if she did and they edited it out, then oh well. Yes, but you have to take accountability, and I'm not hearing it. No, continuing on that. Time, oh my gosh. So it says here, Banks in her own interview said she apologized to Evans but defended her actions, saying, "There were agents that would tell me she will not work with those teeth." And she apologized. People, again, you want to be in the spot of America's Next Top Model without the consequences of what that calls for. Grow up. With respect, grow up. Make better choices. Go learn who you are so you can choose opportunities, situations, and circumstances and environments where you can thrive in. Make better choices. You learned a lesson, but now, unlike me, you get to walk around and say, I was a part of America's Next Top Model. You know how much I would leverage that. You know how much I would be leveraging that. Every room I enter, they would know I worked with Tyra Banks. I worked with the people who worked with Tyra Banks. Come on. I'm not saying she's perfect. I'm saying she was another person on the job, and you should report her to the human resources or whatever facility or aspects of the program that would have filled that kind of gap, that offered that kind of service. And in lieu of none, go to the police, report it, or quit. When you realize it's not for you, quit. Because they're not going to put somebody out there with teeth they don't approve to be a top model. Anyway. And she apologized. So are we hearing about this again? You're very lucky she apologized. And it was kind of her to apologize. I was rooting for you. Okay, so, and I love that she stood on it. The series also covers, the agents Right, so she was responding to the agents. The series also covers one of the most infamous America's Next Top Model clashes, in which Banks yells at model Tiffany, I'm not going to say her surname, saying, "I was rooting for you." And who said that was a shout? Maybe she was just projecting. "Oh, I was rooting for you." I've had persons look at me like, "Oh my God, she's so horrible." Look at me like, oh my God, she's so angry. She's when all I did was project, was like got excited. All I was in a business meeting. All I was passionate. You're the one with the you're perceiving. You're the person. You're the one with the perception. Again, when you go to go to any space or through any system trying to become the top anything, what are you expecting? Look at the Olympians and what they go through when they're training. Their legs bruising, their feet, their toes. What were you expecting? "We're all rooting for you. How dare you?" Banks in the docuseries admitted she went too far and lost it, saying the issue was probably bigger than her. And that's normal too. She's human. Of course, some things happen when you are at work. Things happen when you are at work. I'm sure you two as the participants did things that they didn't like, that they experienced as unpleasant. They didn't like it. I just, that's some black girl stuff. Oh, sorry. Went too far and lost it. Saying the issue was probably bigger than her. That's some black girl stuff that goes real deep inside of me. But Jay Manuel, a former creative director on the reality series, said Banks, in quote, "really scared all of us." Jehovah. You see, I remember I keep going back to that Diddy conversation with his lawyer when they tried to make it seem, because he say that he's like, "Fix it. I pay you. I hire you. You're the professional. Fix it." We have this thing that we like to do to people where we like to monster them, and we like to weaponize their humanity against them, knowing that we're in conditions where we operate a certain way. If you stayed, why did you stay? Why didn't you leave? Weren't you even friends at once? Close at once? Your boss scares you. That's not so unfamiliar. My mother scared me. Heck, I love a man who scares me. I don't think he's trying to scare me, but whenever I'm around him, I just feel like I'm on my P's and Q's. And that's it's reverence and respect. Heck, God scares me. What are we talking about here? Really scared all of us, and you all stayed. I guess you weren't scared enough. It's not that I'm here to defend the tyrant. It's just I'm going through this and I'm like, well, I guess they had to identify the issues, right? But these were the issues? Aye. During the confrontation, and alleged she said worse things that were not aired, saying the show had lawyers on set the next time they filmed. So there was an incident. This is the worst that came out of that incident? Okay. Banks also had a falling out with Manuel and Judge J. Alexander. Oh, well then. After they were fired from the show. According to the docuseries, I saw a clip where Tyra was saying that she was given, it was delegated to her. She was given a directive that the person needed to be fired, or the persons. I don't know if it's both of them at the same time. And she said bosses have bosses too, and that is true. And every boss have a boss, even if that boss is the customer. Even if that boss is the customer. Okay? Or in the case of governments, the people of the country. Everybody have a boss. Anyway, after they were fired from the show, according to the docu-series with Alexander. It's a clip that I saw from Tyra and another clip that made me want to cover this story because I felt it was unfair to her. And I know the feeling. According to the docu-series with Alexander alleging Banks never visited him. This was a thing that that pricked me into this segment. Never visited him after he had a stroke in 2022 that left him unable to walk. I did not find out when he was fired. I will be fair to the guy and say this. I will say this. He was asked if Tyra came to see him. But I think his answer should simply have been, not yet. She spoke with me, but she hasn't come yet. But I'm going to play. Where is it? I want to play it. Here it is. I didn't like it. Hang on. Sorry.
Walks at a walk. And how can walk? Not yet. Not yet. I'm determined to walk. I'm sure we're going to see me again, I'm sure.
What? Oh, jeez. I'm trying to
The
remember.
person who taught Miles how to walk.
Okay, here you go.
The person who taught Miles how to walk. I taught Miles how to walk. And now I can walk. Not yet. Not yet. I'm determined to walk. I'm sure you're going to see me again, I'm sure. Is that all for me yet?
Did Tyra come and visit you?
No, not yet. She just sent me a text. She wants to come and visit me. But no, not yet. The person
Now,
who taught Miles how to walk.
for me,
The person who taught Miles how to walk.
sorry. I didn't like that. I thought that was nasty. I thought that was very nasty. Very nasty. It was ugly to me. And I think it was an unnecessary question. Well, you know what? Second thought. I don't think it was an unnecessary question. It's okay to say, has Tyra come to see you? I didn't necessarily appreciate how it was asked, but then that's my perception. So it's an okay question. There's something in the air of this that I don't like, and maybe it's me. I don't know. But Tyra is not obligated to. I mean, let me put it this way. I'm not obligated to go see anyone that I worked with because they're sick. I'm not obligated. I'm not even obligated to pray. I'm not even obligated to wish them well. In fact, I'm not obligated to think of them at all. What are we talking about here? Also, based on the fact that they even talk about they were fired from the show, there could have been emotional, and as she said, somebody sent her, you see, how do you know she didn't feel a way when she had to do that? And also she could be thinking that maybe they feel a way too. Was it pleasant? And even at its most pleasant, it would still have left some degree of discomfort. I don't know, like I feel like she has contacted me expressing interest to visit me, but she hasn't visited yet. And I would like to thank her for that. Because she doesn't have to come to see you, sir. What obligates her to come to see you? I'm trying to understand. What obligates her to come to see you? These expectations we have. These expectations, and we cast shadows over people's lives because of how we present our expectations of them. It's not fair. She's a regular person like everybody else, and that's why I use that picture. She's a person too, and whatever she's earned, she earned. However she earned it. You were all employed on a project. And to the extent you forgot you were at work because you were having a good time, that's on you. You need to remember, these are people I'm working with. These are people, and people are people. You don't know what they're going through in their own lives. You don't know what heartbreak they're going through. You don't know who in her family is going through a stroke right now. You don't know. When was the last time you visited her? I'm so proud of the way she responded, like a boss, like a boss. As a boss, you have to be prepared for people to not like you. I hear people wanting to expand. You want to have this, you want to have that. Do you understand what that requires? That's what I'm talking about. And when God gives you the systems, you have to use it, and then you're going to have the uncomfortable position of telling other people that they need to do it too. The same. This is something that I learned. A lot of people don't get to success because of the views they have on successful people. Because they soon found out that the critiques and the way the criticisms they laid at the feet at the successful person, when they start moving in those same circles and realize they have to start moving the same ways, they realize, oh, no, I'm the one being criticized and I don't like it. So I'm going to pull back because I don't like the responsibility. I don't like the accountability. I don't like the unpleasantries. Sometimes I use words and I'm not even sure if it's a word. It is, pleasantries is a word. So, I don't like that I'm going to have to sit in the same darkness I laid out for somebody else before me. See, we have to be careful how we treat people. Because God might just bless you and put you in their position. We think that we could only fall into some positions. Oh no. I don't think a fall will ever put you in any position that's going to require more of you than a position a climb will put you in. You see, blessings, yes, when God bless you, listen, blessings is not a joke, I'm a blessed person. It's not a joke. There are responsibilities and accountabilities that come with being blessed, with being given little. We have to be good stewards. And we have to be cautious how we treat other stewards, because they become our company when God bless us. That's the company we land in. That's the network. What if God decides tomorrow he's going to shift you from a $10 paycheck to a $500 million paycheck? Right up there you are now with the Jeff Bezos of the world, the people who you hated, the Sean Combs of the world. What do you do? What do you do? And so a lot of us never get to success, not because the opportunities didn't come. God didn't give me more. He made me want less. That's my success. That's my success. I did not know that's what success was. I used to always think, I will never be successful. And if I'm successful, I will never say it. I am successful today, right here sitting speaking with you. I'm a very successful person because God made me want less. And that's a whole other conversation, my darlings. A whole other conversation. We've got to be careful, cautious even, how we treat the people who risk it all to create opportunities that we then enjoy. Sir, I have compassion for what you've been through. But you got paid for your job. When you worked, you got paid. That was the obligation. Everything else is bonus and blessings. And we should be mindful how we have expectations of blessings and bonus and extras. It should be handled with care. I'm not saying you shouldn't have the desire for it, but it should be handled with a certain kind of grace, I think. That's just my opinion. Yeah. And so I ask God to help me, because I'm not listening to this because to correct him. God exposed me to it because there's a lesson in it for me to remember when next I get entitled, I become entitled. I need to remember, because it's about self-work. And so I thank you, Miss J, it is? I think it's Miss J, I don't want to mispronounce. Yeah, Miss J Alexander. Thank you. Yeah. For the mindfulness you're giving me now, that should I be asked that question, I want to be conscious of how I'm answering it, so that I can honor the blessing. Tyra is one person working hard like everybody else. We all have to do our job. And your welfare is your job. You know I'm building a system. Excuse me. Yesterday, my voice in my head, my God was talking to me, and it's like, my God said to me, I want you to do this episode today, because what you're building will grow. And when it grows, you're going to have people who say, oh, but I was there from the beginning, and now she's behaving like she's better than me, and she's above me, and blah, blah. You will have people who will say that. Yeah. But those are going to be the same people who chose not to learn the system, who chose not to matriculate from old ways, who chose not to advance themselves, who chose not to do their work, who chose to hang on to your coattail, thinking hanging on to the access to you would bring all they needed. But it wouldn't, because the access only gives you access. Your work is your work. Nobody can do your work. It doesn't matter how many people you hire. You still have to do your work. You have to show up, and you have to steward what God gave you to steward. I have to do it too. We have to be cautious. And that's what God said to me. And God said, I needed to do this episode. I needed to do this episode as protection for me, because he's bringing me to a place I don't know. So I'm not doing this episode by accident. I'm just trying to be obedient, because I won't understand the fullness of this yet. Because you see, this is not my first rodeo in entrepreneurship. 9 times over. And there are people who you give everything, and when they leave, they have the biggest complaints, and they gave the least. Because opportunities are given not to do the work for you, but it's to give you access so you can do the work and reap the rewards for your work. Not my work, your work. Don't get left behind. Don't get left behind. When when the abundance happens, don't get left behind, because it will be on you. It will be on you, all you, whether you win or fail. And this is what I say. Don't thank me, acknowledge me, but thank God, because I don't have the capacity to multiply anything. And that's why I know, I hear everything the Bible says about a rich person, but I also know only God can give abundance. Only God can transform idea to successful business. Only God can multiply things. We could work our fingers to the dirt until God blesses it. It will never produce the harvest you're looking for. God has to say yes. And once I understood that God is in control, I moved different. It's not people. Take your eyes off people. This entire life experience you're having is between you and your God. You and your God. This whole life experience I learned was a whole thing between me and my God. The whole life experiences I've been having had nothing to do with my mother, who I grew up thinking didn't want me. Poor woman. God bless her. She didn't choose either. God used her too. And then after she brought me here, I was not grateful at all. Lived a good portion of my life wanting to die. Yeah. And now I'm so thankful to her because she brought me for 9 months, I think. 8.5 pounds. She said I was the heaviest one. I don't know her story, but from the little I've heard so far, that she carried me, that she mustered the strength to carry me, is more than I could ask of her. And I'm extremely grateful to my mother. The next story I want to quickly go over, I won't stay long here, is Fantasia. And the whole thing with her. Oh no, I did not. I didn't read it. I didn't bring it.
Women and Men of Excellence Outreach Ministries is a global church without walls. We're serving communities through live services, prayer intervention, and outreach that changes lives. Support our $500 monthly giving drive at wamoe.org/give. Shop with purpose at faithmerchandise.com, featuring Dr. Faith's Miracle Lemonade. Book Dr. Faith for therapy, speaking, or ministry at drfaithreborn.com. Grow through professional connection and vocational training at theexcelproject.com. Subscribe to our monthly newsletter and follow us on socials at WAMO Ministries. Become a great motivator. Help us empower minds for success in the kingdom of God.
So her husband did a grand presentation to her. I'm just gonna skip say, oh, the entire thing is okay. Yeah. Right. He presented her with a new ring. With a ring. I mean, like he reproposed or something. What does it say? I'll do it. The Shade Room. Credit to the Shade Room for both clips. The sweetest thing ever. Kendall Taylor surprised his wife Fantasia at her Valentine's Day show. The two got married 11 years ago, but Kendall says he never gave her the proper proposal she deserved. Such a beautiful moment. But apparently, her father came out and did what I would call put a damper on it, because from my understanding, he's expressing concerns about the husband towards Fantasia, and according to the reports, claiming this was all for show. Well, this is what I'll say, because I'm already way over time. Okay, so it's for show. So, okay, it was a beautiful show. Now, I cannot get in between a parent and a child ever. And I believe there is some inherent care that parents have for their kids, no matter how they express it, no matter if they can or cannot express it. I believe inherently parents love their kids, even if they don't know how to show or demonstrate that love. I just, everything happened as it's supposed to. That's number one. Let's honor that. Perhaps he was supposed to do this exactly as he did it, and God understands why. I don't like it. I would not have liked it for myself. Give my show and give me a moment to bask in the pretense. Then, tell me in March. Is how I feel. Tell me in March. Let me enjoy February. Let me enjoy. No, it happened. Let me enjoy it. Again, mindfulness. But then again, with everything I just said about the both stories I spoke about, personally for me, I would not have liked that. It would have hurt me. I would have preferred. There has to be other ways that care can be demonstrated, that protection can be shown, and care versus public correction, public embarrassment. How do we protect without humiliating? I guess that's what I'm asking. Weaponized, we have to be mindful not to weaponize entitlement. And be careful about projecting obligations on other people. That's the message. We have to do our work. We have to do our work. And this has been Allegedly. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. It is my hope that I offended no one. And if I did, it was because God wanted it to happen that way. And so I pray for grace for both of us, for all of us. Yeah. But it was not my intention to cause harm. I just want us to be in mindfulness and do our self-work. Right? Thank you so much for watching Allegedly. I'm Coach Raquel.
New York, November 2025. No narration, just sounds. This docuseries captures fragments of my time in New York. What I noticed, where I paused, what stayed with me, unfiltered, unrushed. Presence over performance. Premiering exclusively on YouTube at My Coach Ministry.
Hey, I'm Coach Raquel, and this is Ask Coach, where real questions meet real growth. Because you are the expert, and I'm simply here to support you.
Each episode, we unpack life, business, and purpose. One calm, courageous conversation at a time. No hype, no fluff, just clarity, confidence, and a touch of grace. Ask boldly, live calmly, grow freely.
I love to open new packages. There will be the latest information on top funding opportunities for entrepreneurs who are seeking funding. Come along with me. I'm Coach Raquel, and this is a passion project for me, so I am so happy to bring this to you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching.